go on my phone.
Hold on. Can you hear me, Bear Nation? 5x5, Roger. Quick sit rep. We've just been completely demonetized in the moment by YouTube. They shut down the first stream. It was them. If you have $1 a month, if you drink coffee or smoke cigarettes, you have $1 a month. Patreon.com, search for Bear Independent.
Did you start a new stream?
Yes, I started a new stream. $1 a month, $10 a year. Barrier to entry to get in on the ground level of Patreon. YouTube don't like us. We don't like them back. Neither one of us is shy about it. They're being particularly less shy about it this morning. What, honey?
Check your audio.
Loud and clear, Craig Lay says. Next, intel at bearindependent.com. Bear Nation, we're getting nothing from y'all. Do you want to participate? Do you even want me to do this anymore? Because I'm not going to jump through these effing hoops every morning if y'all don't want to do this. Intel at bearindependent.com. Intel at bearindependent.com. Intel at bearindependent.com. This is a you and me thing, not a me talking at you thing. I require your participation. Please participate, or I'll do what I do, which is burn the playground down if nobody's going to play on it. Curtis Spencer, good morning, brother. Now, Father Yah, let your will be done. And let us be strong enough and obedient enough to acquiesce to his will. I'm pissed, and I'm trying not to be pissed. November 6th, 2020. The presidential race appears to be close, which makes the possibility of fraud particularly concerning. Any attempt from the Trump campaign to verify validity will be construed as an attack on democracy by those already aching for dramatic conflict. The Trump campaign is seeking legal challenges concerning the handling of ballots in a few states. This includes a recount in Wisconsin where the race is extremely close, and a ballot counting halt in Michigan until meaningful access to observe it is provided. The inflammatory and divisive reporting isn't helping the precarious social situation either. The New York Times headlines include, quote, the president versus democracy, end quote. And, quote, Biden's position remains strong and Trump tries to stop vote counting, end quote, which is bullshit. He said, let's stop voting, meaning don't be putting, little red wagons full of votes, rolling them into the building at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is exactly what they've been doing. He said, stop the voting, not stop the counting. Mainstream media outlets declare one thing, but eyes on the ground seem to report a different story. Multiple reports of voter fraud and ballot fraud have been received, though it is important to note that there appears to be misinformation and disinformation on all sides. For example, the voters in Maricopa County, Arizona, were given Sharpies to use, and it was said that the use of those Sharpies interfered with ballot counting. The rumor caught like internet wildfire, hashtag Sharpiegate, but has been declared false by election officials. The Sharpies do not interfere according to them. Another concern is that there's far more votes than expected, and in multiple states, the number of ballots are expected to surpass the number of registered voters by a lot. While this could be ballot padding, it is important to remember that locations like Wisconsin, voters can register on election day, meaning that there would be more voters than registered voters because they just registered to vote. Keep an eye out for disinformation, even if it agrees with you. Many are disturbed by the intentional secrecy of the ballot counting, as multiple locations block line of sight and or refuse to allow some poll workers, poll watchers inside. In Detroit, workers put up cardboard to block the view from the people who showed up to watch. And in Georgia, Republican Party Chairman David Schaefer tweeted, quote, "Fulton County told our observers last night to go home because they were closing up, and then continued to count ballots in secret," end quote. Boys and gerbils, this world is a mess. Who do we got here? Curtis Spencer, love you back, brother. Amber Lang, bless you, Amber Lang. Thank you. Are you related to Clubber Lang from the Rocky series? Is Mr. T your daddy? That would be very cool if it was. I pity the fool that messes with Amber Lang. I think Mr. T was Dudley's daddy. That makes sense. My goodness, people. My goodness. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. That helps us in our ongoing battle against YouTube and their algorithmic robots. The machines won't win. Am I pissed? I'm a little pissed. What do you think, honey? Am I pissed?
You're so pissed.
I'm so pissed. Just trying to keep a lid on it. Just a little pissed. We have 3 segments this morning, boys and gerbils. The screenplay of the election, the legitimacy of an insurgency, and action over anxiety. So please bear with the fact that I could punch a hole through an oak tree, and stay tuned. Welcome to the screenplay. Act 1. The presidential race is too close to call. We have this headline from The Blaze. Oh, and an interesting report from 43 minutes ago by Sarah Taylor at The Blaze. Russian President Vladimir Putin stepping down amid health concerns. Collusion.
Mom said take a deep breath.
Mom or man?
Mom.
Mom. Good morning, Mom.
She's watching.
Hi, Dawn. You guys, man, it's a effing battle every morning, and they're just being overt about it this morning. So let's see. Vladimir Putin. Russian President Vladimir Putin is purportedly planning to step down in 2021 amid reports of health concerns. Putin reportedly planning to step down next year amid health concerns that the 68-year-old, who's been the Russian president off and on for the last 2 decades, is suffering from Parkinson's disease. That sounds like speculation. Interesting. Biden takes narrow lead over Trump in Georgia as counting enters tense 4th day. Presidential race still too close to call. Headline at The Blaze. Yeah. New batch of Arizona votes nets Trump over 10,000 additional votes. Trump defiantly declares victory, promises a lot of litigation. We have been prepped for this election result. For the last year or so, we've been talking about this. My goodness, who's going on over here? What do we got here? Anthony Pocock. Good morning, brother. Thank you. Robert Thomason. Patreon will boot you when YouTube boots you. Seen it a few times. Subscribe, Scar, and BitChute. Negative, Robert Thomason. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but don't be blowing up my Patreon, sir. We have other host channels that we can store content on and keep it on Patreon. So please don't piss in my Cheerios, even if you did give me a $5 bill. Okay? Okay. Find me a tree to punch, honey. Gosh. Battle dog. Come here, Sam. You slobbery, smelly murderer, you. Moving along. There's continued planned riots in Washington, D.C. between the Sunrise Group and Shutdown D.C. So you're going to want to keep your eyes on that. Mayor Rudy is petitioning to have 130,000 mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania removed from the overall count. And so keep an eye on that. This is just all part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all part of the show. I do believe that the Democrats on a federal level and the people that jerk their chains are trying to steal an election, which is the prime reason I believe that YouTube has demonetized this entire channel and has prevented us from having a live stream this morning. But here we are, unsuitable, unfit to be watched. Thanks, YouTube. Understand that monetization on YouTube, it's not about the money, because it's pennies on the dollar for what we put into it versus what we get out. What it's about is that their algorithm does not touch anything that is not monetized. It's their way of shadow banning people. There's no up next. Your video is never up next. There's no suggested videos. 70+% of the content that is consumed on YouTube comes from suggested videos. Well, the algorithm doesn't touch your stuff nor suggest you if you're demonetized. So it's their way of making sure that fewer and fewer people see your content, because they have admitted it themselves. They feel like it's their job to make sure that they are spreading the ideologies that they agree with, and they don't agree with me. However, they're quite content to use the draw that I have to produce advertising revenue for their own people and to advertise products here on our channel. So that's fine. They can use the draw that I have to generate revenue for themselves, but not for me. Nor should we have this content get out to the public. Oh, man. Sometimes you want to just punch somebody in the face. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. I don't care about this election stuff right now. They're just working a script. Legitimacy of government in an insurgency. Let's talk about that. Legitimacy. All governments govern through a combination of consent, influence, and to some degree coercion. Legitimacy is a significant indicator of the extent to which systems of authority, decisions, and conduct are accepted by the local population. Political legitimacy of a government determines the degree to which the population will voluntarily comply. Political legitimacy of a government determines the degree to which the population will voluntarily comply with the decisions and rules issued by a governing authority. Governments described as legitimate primarily rule through consent of the governed. Those described as illegitimate tend to rely heavily on coercion. Good news, we've essentially already got an illegitimate government. Citizens obey illegitimate governments because they fear retribution rather than because they voluntarily accept its rule. While a legitimate government may employ limited coercion to enforce the law and ensure public order, most of its citizens voluntarily accept its authority. Legitimacy determines the transaction costs of political and governmental power. Low legitimacy may breed contempt on the part of the population and may require extensive prodding and incentives, or, in extreme cases, threats and intimidation by the government to secure compliance of the population. High legitimacy generally invites compliance by the population and therefore requires less effort by the government to ensure compliance. The latter normally fosters allegiance of the government to the governed to the government. The legitimate and legitimate governance is inherently more stable. The societal support it engenders allows it to adequately manage internal problems, change, and conflict. This is one of the reasons why an insurgency would seek to delegitimize a government. I got all the text messages from the whole Bear Nation.
Everybody loves
I know it.
Throat punchy.
I'm okay, guys. I'm okay. We're going to make it. But gosh dang, if I'm going to go through this every morning, please participate. Intel at bearindependent.com. Patreon. Go to bearindependent.com. Sign up for the newsletter that if we get yanked from everywhere, we still have a way to email you. Please and thank you. Jeb Reed, bless you. Thank you. Scott Timpson, Bear, we love you guys and your work. Please know we are here for you. If they suppress you, we will seek you out. No one left behind. Bless you, Scott. Thank you. I appreciate that very much so. 1.7 in the chat, 579 thumbs ups. Just let's get that to 1,000 so YouTube knows that we're not a bunch of wussies. How's that for a word? Papa, uniform, Sierra, Sierra, India, Echo, Sierra. Moving right along. I should probably, what word?
Tavar 7 had a funny comment.
Tavar 7 had a funny comment?
Yeah, he said, hang on, I gotta find it. He said, since he's on the Nazarite vow and no lasagna, maybe name a rooster YouTube and hand him the 22.
I wouldn't be using the 22 on the YouTube rooster. We'd be going 7mm Remington Magnum probably.
Or a shotgun.
Cheryl Black. Appreciate you. Yes, watermarked ballots. Yes, I have executive order in 2018 by President Donald J. Trump that they would create a ballot that was
well, everybody's signing up for this.
Good. That they would create a ballot that would be much more difficult to copy and or duplicate. Ben Johnson, good morning. Tavar 7. Jerry Cummings, Scotty Nux, Raincat, what's going on? Mark Campbell, Lone Ranger. So we've got a lot more of this insurgency to look at. And the reason I'm camping on this insurgency stuff is that there's lots of people who are going to give you, well, the recount in Wisconsin is this and that. Yeah, but what comes next? And I'm not saying that you should be involved in the insurgency on either side, but if this should come to pass, if you have a foundational understanding, even if it's just a little bit of a foundational understanding of how these things work, that allows you to, coupled with your own observations and your own intelligence, have a better understanding of the playing field that you are on so that you can operate more efficiently, you can operate more proactively, so that you can operate from positions of strength so that the people that you love will not be subjected to the will of another. That's why I'm doing this, because if this comes to pass, this is going to be very vital information. We're already being censored and trying to share it. What do you think is going to happen when there is a legitimate insurgency? Right? Right. Don't even talk to me about the Nazarite vow. I love it and I hate it at the same time. My flesh is not happy about it at all, but my spirit is overwhelmed with how badass the Father is right now. So there's a lot of push-pull there too. Oofta, as they would say in Minnesota. Let's get back to the legitimacy of government. All governments govern through a combination of consent, influence, and to some degree, coercion. We already discussed that. Legitimacy in counterinsurgency operations. The struggle for legitimacy with the relevant population is typically a central theme of the conflict between the insurgency and the host nation government. The host nation government generally needs some level of legitimacy among the population to retain the confidence of the populace and an acknowledgement of governing power. The insurgency will attack the legitimacy of the host nation government while attempting to develop its own legitimacy with the population. Let's repeat that. The insurgency will attack the legitimacy of the host nation government while attempting to develop its own legitimacy with the population. Counterinsurgency operations should reduce the credibility of the insurgency while strengthening the legitimacy of the host nation government. During Cohen operations, high legitimacy of the host nation government magnifies the resources and capabilities of Cohen through such means, counterinsurgency, through such means as a populace willing to report on insurgents, and allows the host nation to concentrate finite resources on targeting the insurgency. When dealing with insurgents who are drawn from segments of the population, it is often a particular challenge for the host nation to be seen as legitimate in public opinion. Legitimacy of the host nation can be undercut when an outside force, like an outside government, supports the host nation to aid in the fight against the insurgents. We got one more portion we're going to read here, but before we do, while we're talking about legitimacy, let's talk about the legitimate fact that there are 12 households now and 17 people that work with us at this little thing that we do called Bear Independent and Refuge Medical and Bear Facts and Refuge Training and Prosperity and Grindstone. So I know times are tough. I know things are uncertain. We're in the same boat. I know not everybody can afford a badass handmade, made in America blowout kit. I totally understand that. If you can, if you're in the market for a first aid kit, please consider us, bearindependent.com at the store. If you can't afford a first aid kit or you don't need a first aid kit, cool. I totally get it. There's stickers, there's patches, there's t-shirts, there's bookmarks, there's all kinds of stuff in the store. And we have, by the hand of the Most High and his provision and blessing, coupled with our blood, sweat, and tears and your support, grown this company from something a year ago that was run from my dining room table to now has a bunch of people that are working for it. And so we make, in my humble opinion, the best first aid kit on the market, individual first aid kit. It exceeds military specification. That's made by hand in America by Americans. 12 lives saved thus far. You cannot buy a better kit. and you cannot buy a better kit for the price. I will put this up against Trauma Pack. I will put this up against My Medic. I will put this up against Dark Angel Medical. I will put this up against every other manufacturer of first aid kits on the face of the earth. They don't make a better kit. If you want proof of this, how about the fact that Dark Angel Medical has attempted to make their own this exactly. They said, yeah, we've been working on ours for a year. I said, that's cool. We've been working on ours for 2. Stop it. Okay. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Well, when a big company like that decides, hey, you got a nice product, we're going to rip it off, there you go. Except that ours has this little tab right here. See that? Made in the USA. Look at even that. Look at that stitching right there. Look at it. Look at it. It's perfect. It's perfect. Up top, you got your combat gauze. That's additional. You got to add that at checkout. Gen 7 cat tourniquet. Gloves. 6-inch emergency trauma dressing. 1-inch surgical tape. Down here in the bottom, this is the bare minimum, by the way. The bare fact, the original, has even more in it. Down here in the bottom in this pocket, you got your shears, nasal pharyngeal airway, 28 French, 2 5x9 gauze pads, and 2 hyphen chest seals. Everything you need, nothing you don't. For uncontrolled bleeding in the extremities, for wound packing in your junctional areas, for compression bandaging, for tension pneumothorax, sucking chest wounds, all your common battlefield injuries. That's right here. This was designed and refined with input from United States Special Forces personnel. These are deployed on 4 continents by 4 different branches of the United States military. They are in service with civilian sheepdogs, law enforcement, military members, EMS, paramedics, all over the world, and they're totally badass. And I know that they're totally badass because you guys keep telling us that, and because they keep saving lives, and because people keep trying to copy them. You can't. I appreciate y'all deeply. Thank you for hanging with us and for helping us grow from a business run by volunteers at my dining room table to a business that now has a lot of people working for it. At least for me, a lot of people. And so I'm just thankful for you for partnering with us as we grow this thing. If we are the Bear Army, amen. Bless you, Donna Boy. You can get that and everything else that we do at bearindependent.com. And I appreciate you. Let's go back to talking about governmental legitimacy. Drivers of legitimacy. Legitimacy is achieved by the host nation government through being perceived as effective and credible, and by providing an environment for the population to maintain predictable and acceptable living conditions. In some situations, the provision of security and basic services may be enough for citizens to see a government as legitimate. Some elements of the population may only ask of their government that they be kept safe and left alone to live their lives with little interaction with the host nation government. Right here, I'm not even worried about the safe part. We'll handle that. Just leave me alone. In other cases, the population may expect more extensive services from the host nation government. The key is that legitimacy is ultimately decided in the minds of the population. Let us repeat that. The key is that legitimacy is ultimately decided in the minds of the population. Therefore, a key objective of counterinsurgency operations is to ensure that the host nation government meets the baseline expectations of the population to solidify its legitimacy. If you've ever wondered why we have identity politics, it's because we are in the midst and have been in the midst of a political insurgency.
Somebody just emailed us. They got their car keyed because of a goats and hoes sticker.
Really?
Yeah, and they cut the goats and hoes portion off of the sticker.
Where do they live?
I don't know. I'm getting ready to send her a whole bunch of swag.
How much we gotta find out how much it's gonna cost to fix this. Hold on. There's no personal information on there.
No.
Reporting live from the, yes, there's a pooping unicorn sticker right there. If you've ever, and yes, this is my personal iPhone. If you've ever thought to yourself, you know what, I need something to brighten my day, that's the pooping unicorn sticker. It's $3 at the store. Somebody in the Bear Nation just emailed us that their car got keyed because it had a goats and hoes sticker on it, and right there next to the tactical chicken sticker, and they cut the goats and hoes portion off. That is unacceptable, Bear Nation. Unacceptable. We're in a war. Tell them to get a quote to get their car fixed, please and thank you.
She's on the stream.
She's on the stream. Get a quote to get your car fixed. We love you. I'm sorry that some asshole keyed your car. It's unacceptable. This means war. Gary, Yankee, Benjamin, Jerry, you are now on security for the Goats and Hoats car. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a day. Factors of legitimacy. The authority to govern is dependent upon the successful amalgamation and interplay of 4 factors. Well, that's a mouthful right there. Mandate, manner, consent, and expectations. When the relationship between the government and the governed breaks down, challenges to authority may result. If a significant section of the population or just an extreme faction believes it cannot achieve a remedy through established political processes, it may resort to insurgency. Let me restate that again. If a significant section of the population or just an extreme faction believes it cannot achieve a remedy through established political processes, it may resort to insurgency. Mandate. The perceived legitimacy of the means that establishes a state authority, whether through the principles of universal suffrage, a recognized or accepted caste tribal model, or authoritarian rule. Manner. The perceived legitimacy of the means that establishes a state authority, whether through the principles, I just read that, the perceived legitimacy of the way in which those exercising that mandate conduct themselves, both individually and collectively, in meeting the expectations of the local population. Consent. The extent to which local populations consent to or comply with the manner and authority of those exercising the mandate. Consent may range from active support, passive support, or indifference through begrudging compliance. And expectations. The extent to which those exercising the mandate manage or meet the expectations or aspirations of the elites, local populations, and international community. Expectations may depend upon the perceived quality or amount of support that the government delivers. Yeah, so how do you have a legitimate government? Perceived legitimacy and state authority through the principles of universal suffrage, recognized or accepted caste or tribal model, or authoritarian rule. Consent of the governed. This is old school America. Government derives its authority through the consent of the governed, indeed. But the way that consent, the manner with which that consent is garnered can change depending on the government system. And we just need to read this part again a third time right up here. If a significant section of the population or just an extreme faction believes it cannot achieve a remedy through established political processes, it may resort to insurgency. Meaning that the system is broken, I'm going outside of the system. We've got 1,000 likes. Good job. 1.9 thousand people watching. I appreciate y'all. Patreon.com. Search for Bear Independent, because who the hell knows what's going to happen this weekend. Moving right along. And logistical support of an insurgency. Do you guys even care right now about the logistics of an insurgency? Would you like to know more, or am I boring you? We love you back, Christopher Davis. Todd says no. Dad Wabbit says yes. Hell yeah. Tell us. More. Keep going. Bear, we love you. I love you back. All the things. More. Carry on. Well, I guess Todd's just an a-hole. Sorry, Todd. The rest of the nation has outvoted you. It's okay. I have a rough day, every now and then as well. It's all right, brother. We love you, but you are not the popular vote at this point. So, information, please. Damn, Todd's. We just lost Todd. Todd's mad. Todd's not coming back. It's okay, Todd. It's okay. It's okay. We do love you. We're going to keep talking about insurgencies. Oh, doobie-doobie-doo. Where is my document? It's somewhere on the screen.
All right. Time for Hami to go to the office.
Time for Hami to go to the office. I disagree with this statement. What are you doing at the office today, my love? I am smelling like a rose that somebody gave me on my birthday deathbed. What? Because I'm dead and bloated? What? Oh, what are you doing?
I'm packing what adventure kits I can. And
packing what adventure kits you can. And combat lifesaver kits. Uh-huh. I had an MSHA instructor, which is a mining safety and health association, or some bull crap like that. Occupational Safety and Health Association, but it's MSHA for mining. And the 8-hour class, the MSHA 8-hour class, took a day and a half, almost 2 days, because the instructor kept going, well, so, okay, so you want to wear your hard hat, and make sure that the hard hat is on your head at all times, so that I was like, you lady, this is not gonna work. And in fact, by the end of the first day, I pulled this lady aside and I said, here's what's gonna happen. Tomorrow, you are gonna plow through this content and read exactly what is on the PowerPoint, and that's it, because I can't have my guys tied up for another day in this class, and I want to jump off a tall building every time you speak. Can't have this. So yeah. Wolf of Odin, is there a way to upgrade my Patreon account?
Can you come with me?
Yeah, there's a way to upgrade your Patreon account. It's all handled at Patreon. I have no idea how to do it because I don't do it. Who are you?
I'm Hami.
Hami, can I draw?
Hami in the house.
Can I draw a mustache on you with this Sharpie?
No.
Can I vote in Arizona with this Sharpie?
No.
Oh.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I got a black pen. I did not get a Sharpie.
What is it? Did you get some lipstick on?
She likes to draw her mustache.
Did you get some lipstick on over there?
Okay, go wake up your sister. Your lipstick matches your shirt.
What is that?
Can you guess what's inside this thing?
I cannot guess what's inside that thing. Lipstick?
No.
No.
So yeah, so I'm setting up the bear store.
Oh.
on a new
A magnet.
thing today.
A magnet. Awesome. Go show 9, okay?
Wait,
And don't put on any more lipstick.
I might do.
Hi. Go. Go see 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing today. And emailing people that ordered OD Green adventure kits and combat lifesaver kits and seeing if they want to switch to Coyote or Black.
Because Condor lost our order.
Yes.
Because the age of growing businesses during a global pandemic and political uncertainty.
It's hard.
Whatever. Guys, I'm telling you, before this, I ran billion-dollar power construction jobs. But at least, like, when I needed bolts, I would call Fastenal, and they would show up the next day. You know, it's like, you need diesel, you just call the fuel guy, and it's like, hey, go fuel those equipment, all those pieces of equipment. Hey, Caterpillar, I need another track hoe. It shows up the next day. Easy.
Right.
Supply chain logistics are easy, man. Not anymore. It's like, I want to give you money so the product will show up, so that the people who gave me money so that their product will show up will be happy. And
right.
The global supply chain's like, nah, nope, not doing that. I'm like, but this is how commerce works.
Like figuring out if we do a huge North American rescue order,
right?
It takes 2 weeks to 3 weeks because they're shipping it freight. Whereas if we break down that order into 3 or 4 smaller orders, it will come within a couple of days.
Well, and the one time we had a massive North American rescue order, a pallet of stuff, and the shipping company had it sitting on their dock for a month.
Yeah. Until we called and we were like, I'm
going to let y'all extrapolate how murderous Bear was. I saw red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're getting ready to switch over the Bear store.
Oh, hold on. Andrew Davis. Hey, Bear, tell some more of your followers to go choke on a phallus, nice guy. Hey, Andrew Davis, go choke on a phallus, asshole. How's that? You're welcome. Continue, honey.
Yeah. Don't poke the bear this morning. Like
ever.
Yeah.
But this morning.
But particularly this morning, like there's not going to be much grace this morning. So
negative.
So yeah, we're gonna end up moving the Bear Independent store to a new platform, and so I'm working on that today.
Fist bump. What's this?
Cub Pro.
That's a Cub Pro?
Cub Pro.
What's so pro about it?
Your face.
My face is pretty pro.
Yeah.
Hey, don't mess with the turd.
Your turd sucks.
That's a Gen 1 turd, not a Gen 2 turd. Tactical utility retention device, aka turd.
I'm totally putting that at like the top of the description. It comes with its own turd.
I tell you should sell turds on the site. We now make them. That was the.
Is that going to be a medical component?
You need to bring me a turd home from work so that I can upgrade that.
Okay, well,
they're now made out of shock cord, but that was the first one we ever made, and I needed something to hold that tourniquet on, and all I had was a rubber band. So we now use shock cords.
You use what you got.
Jaffo.
Your green minimum that I gave you.
Bless you.
With the chicken sticker or chicken patch.
That went to Dom.
Oh.
He's going to pay you for it today.
All right. Do it.
Been needing turds for my ghillie. See?
Okay.
KRF would have bought a whole bunch of turds.
Right.
Yep, we're in some weird gray area now.
Right. I'll post them on Refuge Medical.
Post them on Bear Independent. These people don't go to Refuge Medical. They're our people.
Right.
Refuge Medical is how we market to the rest of the world. Y'all go to bearindependent.com. Oh, the camera's over here. Y'all go to bearindependent.com. Refuge Medical is is a different touch point on the internet for the same series of products. But that way, for example, we're going to start doing spots with Chad Prather on the Blaze and several other marketing partnerships, so that I don't have to be the only person that's talking about these things. And now with that happening, we're going to continue to hook up the Bear Nation exorbitantly well as compared to the pricing that you will find at Refuge Medical, because Refuge Medical is for the rest of the world. BearIndependent.com is for y'all. So go there.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
Right.
Tactical bathrobes come in silky marpat.
This is the best bathrobe. I love this thing.
I disagree.
All right.
Hold on. I got to get out my bathrobe.
Gosh. I gotta go work.
Gotta go work.
I gotta go work.
I'm your helpmeet, or you're my helpmeet. Do what I say. There we go. The best bathrobe.
I'm doing the job I have.
No, do this job now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I win.
Okay. Shalom, y'all.
That's the gray man bathrobe, and this is the bear man bathrobe.
I guess so.
Yeah. That's Storm's bathrobe. Morning overall living. All right. So we are way behind on our timeline this morning because of tactical toddlers and because of YouTube and because of all that. So let's get a little bit more into the logistical support of insurgencies. Here we go. Where is it? There it is. From the Army's FMI 3-24-2 manual, Chapter 2, Logistical Support. Modern warfare is inherently resource intensive. Boy, have you heard that before anywhere? The insurgent needs to ensure continual access to supplies, weapons, ammunition, and money. And this requires insurgents to maintain open supply lines. While logistical support may be an insurgent's greatest vulnerability, it can be difficult to interdict. As an insurgency develops and expands, logistical support increasingly relies on external sources. In a conventional war, insurgent forces often receive significant amounts of supplies from external sources, usually from one of the opposing nations involved in the conflict. The protracted popular war strategy emphasizes mobilization of the masses, and requires considerable resources to build and maintain a counter state. The protracted popular war strategy emphasizes mobilization of the masses and requires considerable resources to build and maintain a counter state. Remember that. Considerable resources. The globalists. Yeah, I mean, for real, though, actually, at this point, the globalists. Marpat, you're wonderful, but I got things to do. Stay sexy. The globalists. We're going to turn the frickin' frogs gay. Supplies. Once the insurgents' on-hand supplies are exhausted, supplies must come from the populace or an external source. In most insurgencies, initial support comes from the populace, either voluntarily or coerced. Identifying types of supplies the insurgency needs and then discovering how the insurgent is obtaining these supplies are significant steps in the process of identifying insurgent supporters and insurgent bases. Medical supplies are often the most critical supply that insurgencies require. Medical supplies are often the most critical supply that insurgencies require. Weapons and ammunition. External sources are often required to sustain specialized arms and armaments. Insurgents can obtain these weapons through legal or illegal purchases or from foreign sources. Another common tactic is to capture weapons from government forces. There are reports of this going on already. National Guard armories being broken into. Money. Money is essential to an insurgency for the purchase of critical supplies, especially high-tech weapons and ammunition or bomb-making materials. Money is also essential for the payment of guerrillas and the bribery of corrupt officials. Money can be obtained through many sources, and in today's electronic world, it crosses all boundaries. While money is often shipped to insurgents just like other supplies, it may also be moved and held by local financial institutions. In some cases, insurgencies develop an underground banking system which can be used to launder money. Just like supply lines, the money path must be discovered, tracked, and disrupted. Funding greatly influences an insurgency's character and vulnerabilities. Local supporters or international front organizations may provide donations. Sometimes legitimate businesses are established to furnish funding. In areas controlled by insurgents, confiscation or taxation might be used, especially in cases when insurgencies provide their own essential services to the population. Another common source of funding is criminal activity, especially the illegal trade of drugs. And lastly, supply lines. In all cases, either the insurgent must go to their suppliers or the suppliers must come to the insurgents. Discovering and tracking these supply lines can provide key information on insurgent forces and support. Although rarely overt, all insurgent organizations will have some system of supply lines, means of transportation, and storage facilities. Skillful counterinsurgents attempt to cut off the flow of supplies, especially weapons and ammunition. Operations is used as a depot. And we'll end there with insurgency and counterinsurgency for today. Good morning, James and Joe. I'm loving all the trolls. Loving all the trolls. You feel tough in your mom's basement, gorged on Mountain Dew and Doritos, man. It's good for you. My question is, how long does it take for you to actually find your pecker when you have to pee, or do you just sit down on the toilet like a woman when you do it? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And if you were here, please understand that I would relish the opportunity to knock every last tooth out of your face with these right here, because men understand that you don't say something to somebody passively that you wouldn't say to them actively. However, you are not a man, which you prove with your shitty attitude and your passive-aggressive nature of spewing hateful messages on the internet. Come see me, and I will handily destroy you with one arm tied behind my back. And no, that's not hyperbole. That's exactly what I mean. I'll even fight you left-handed. Intel from the Bear Nation. Tensions are high. One man had social conflict with a pizza deliverer because he was wearing a MAGA hat. A son was kicked out of the house for his support of Trump, and another person submitted this. Quote, "My daughter hit a deer and totaled her car. She got a rental Monday that has California plates. We live in Missouri. She gets honked at, yelled at, and given the finger for the California plates. People are over the edge." If you're not a troll, if you actually are a man or woman of virtue and value, you might want to check out grindstoneministries.com. If you are a troll, you should go there too, and you should sign up for the next mission so that I can see you in person, and then, tough guy, you can come say that shit to my face. grindstoneministries.com. We are actively involved in the rescue and rehabilitation of victims of human trafficking and sex crimes. Unlike the pedophiles in their basement that like to talk trash on the internet, we actually find those people kicking their doors at 3 o'clock in the morning and maybe arrest them, maybe not. And then comes the heartbreaking, difficult task of unbreaking children who have been broken. Goodbye, love.
Love you.
I love you. You're tremendous.
Thanks.
Believe it. Believe it.
I will.
Believe it. Do you believe it?
I believe it.
Okay. Believe it.
I'm fucking awesome.
I know you are. Build it. A wall of bare facts. The most beautiful wall. These are the best. Everybody tells me the best. Don't drop your keys. We need those keys. The key to success is an appropriate bare fact. All of it, the best. Tremendous. They're more beautiful than Melania. Believe it. You're wonderful. Tremendous. The best.
Bye.
The best help meet. You're the best. You're the best.
Bye.
David A., bless you. GrindstoneMinistries.com. Unlike most ministries that talk a bunch of shit on the internet, raise a bunch of money, and then don't do anything, we're the opposite. I would encourage you to go to the YouTube search bar and put in Bear Independent Grindstone and see video footage of the fruit that we have been blessed to be able to bear in service to the Father's kingdom. And so if you'd like to support us, there is a huge raffle going on right now. Our fall fundraiser, you can sign up at grindstoneministries.com. A $5 entry, and you can enter as many times as you want. You want to buy one raffle ticket? Awesome. You want to buy 4,000? Awesome. Whatever, man. As many times as you want. One winner will win over $3,000 worth of tactical gear. Plate carrier, plates, trauma pads, ballistic helmet, prepper camo gear, Glock slides, you know, one of these, an OD green, 3-day assault pack. There's all kinds of stuff in there. And so you can sign up for that. We would greatly appreciate it if you did. You can also drink disastercoffee.com because your life spent miserably in your mother's basement, covered in pimples, addicted to World of Warcraft and Mountain Dew, with Cheeto dust all over everything that you own, wearing a t-shirt that hasn't been washed in 14 days might be a disaster, but your coffee shouldn't be. Disastercoffee.com. And you can check out Sanctified Supply Co. because at some point you might want to take off that ridiculous Star Wars shirt that you've had on for the last 3.5 months. But I know you're a full-grown man of 32 years old, and the job market's pretty tough right now. But what was your excuse 4 years ago when you moved into that basement, you piece of shit? Maybe you need to get a new shirt, SanctifiedSupplyCo.com, and join humanity like the rest of us and do adult things. And lastly, apparently you have an issue communicating, so you should probably work on your comma with amendment, the number 1 preparedness.com, A1P, amendment1preparedness.com, which would allow you to actually speak to another human being, something that I know you have issues with. And if you did all of that, you would also be supporting Grindstone Ministries, which is wonderful because we fix broken people, and clearly some of y'all need that. So with all that being said, let's check out our silver linings. Quote, have a preacher friend. Have been going to that church about a year. We've been walking for 8 months and he's lost 40 pounds. I recently helped him build a yard chicken coop and we split wood for his family. My friend is in place to help me take care of quail and rabbits. 12 hives going into winter, 26 quarts of honey without trying. I anticipate signing up for the next EMT course at a local community college. That's awesome. By the way, send your good news, your silver linings to intel@bearindependent.com. These reports, the more involved you are in these reports, the better they are. So stay involved, intel@bearindependent.com. Now, I mean your intel and your silver linings. I don't mean, hey, Bear, where's my order? I don't mean I want to talk to Bear. I don't mean to send a bunch of YouTube videos that Bear has to watch right now because they're incredibly important. No, intel and silver linings, go to intel@bearindependent.com. Please and thank you. A woman who experienced an 8-hour-long power outage says, quote, thanks to all Bear and his family have taught us, we had the preps to make coffee and charge our phones. I know it is small, but it is the little things that matter. Amen. Another viewer says, fun fact, it is incredible how much stuff one can purchase and store in one's room and in the corners of the garage without the mother noticing. You inspired me to consider the expired medical supplies at the hospital. I found some phone numbers and made some calls, and in the 15 minutes I had, I got 20 plastic airways of various sizes, 1 box and a handful of Tegaderm bandages, which are the best and so versatile, 2 hazardous spill kits. Praise God. Thank you so much for what you and your team do. I believe that God has put you all into position for such a time as this. Well, bless you and all praise to the Most High, because Lord knows, he knows that this is not the thing that's making this happen, because this thing right here is a broken human being. This sleeping bag of meat that contains the fearful and wonderfully made soul that comes from the source, comes from the creator, comes from Father Yah. This thing, the meat suit, is not the wonderful part of the equation, okay? If you are looking for a wonderful part of the equation, you should check out the forums at bearindependent.com. Eat some soy, that'll make you more gentle. Good morning, Father Yah. Father, thank you for striving with men and with women who love you but who are human. Let's just get this out of the way. Father, if there is anything within me or within the sound of my voice that is not of you, I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. Father, fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, for strength and power and authority, for wisdom and discernment, for peace, for compassion, for love, for healing, Father. I pray literally that you would be indwelt in us, that you would use us to accomplish your will. Whatever our giftings and talents and delights are, that we would go out into the world and the world would see us and come to know you better, that you would build testimony in us and through us, that we would be the hands and feet of you, that we would let our light shine, that the light would shine into the darkness and the darkness would comprehendeth it not. Father, set us on fire and fill us up and use us for your will. Father, thank you for being sovereign over all things, including this messed up world and this messed up human being that I am. Thank you for striving with us. Thank you for making a way home through Yeshua HaMashiach, through Jesus the Christ, that people like me would have a way to come home to you. Thank you for giving us a life and teaching us how to live it. Father, thank you for convictions. Father, thank you for all these people. Father, I pray that you would teach us to walk in your ways so that we would stay in your blessings in these uncertain times to come. And Father, I pray that you would just continue to use us to serve you, to serve your kingdom, and to be the light. And I ask all these things in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. I don't give a shit about the war coming in Portland, Oregon, Lauren. You might, but I don't. I'm over it. Go be the light. If there's a war coming, go be the light. Go be the light. Go be the light. There's a war coming everywhere. Love y'all, Bear Nation. Have a happy Sabbath. Shalom.